question is, when staring at your big goal and it seems like a massive elephant that you can't conquer, what will you do? Well, that's the question, and this podcast, Eat Your Elephant, is here to help you to find the answer that will keep you moving forward and making progress. Because you can eat your elephant one bite at a time. I'm your host, Nick Macy, and let's dive right in. Hello there, glad you're here, glad you're listening in today. Now, this is the Eat Your Elephant podcast where we talk about conquering the big goals in life. Today, I'm going to share with you one thing that can help keep you moving forward towards your goals. Or at least this is one thing, one simple thing that makes a huge difference in me being able to focus and be productive when I need to. So with that, I want to ask you a question. Have you ever been motivated, like ready to take the action? Ready to get things done and move forward, and even started to work on one of your goals and taking the steps that you need to take, and then bam, all of a sudden struggled to be productive? Well, if so, you're certainly not alone. I've been there more times than I really care to say. I don't have a magic wand or a pill that you can take to always be focused and motivated. So I can get caught in not doing my absolute best on the next task in the moment. I definitely can get distracted by the little tasks and by staying busy doing something, even though that's something that I'm doing isn't the absolute best or most helpful in moving me toward my goal. I can get caught in that being busy and doing things and thinking that that's being productive. That is until I really kind of check in and realize that all I'm doing is being a little bit busy doing stuff and I'm not actually moving closer to my goals. And thankfully, there's other times when I'm, actually working hard, being busy, and I'm making the progress toward the goals that I have, and I'm making those strides, and I'm being productive, and things are just clicking along. So thankfully, I have those times. And in those times, that things are working really well and I'm really making progress, those times there's one key thing that I think it plays a huge role in me being able to have those times and be productive. And probably won't be a surprise if you saw the title to this episode, but the one thing that helps me is having specific steps. See, when I know the very, very specific next step that I'm going to take, and I have that laid out, then all of a sudden when I sit down to do the work, or when it comes time for me to take care of whatever that step is, there's not this, okay, well, how do I approach it? What's the details? Where I can kind of start to get easily distracted by different things, and I'm not actually making the progress on the exact thing that I need to be doing at that moment. So that specific step laid out can be a huge help. Now, I'm not saying that you have to have a whole specific, the whole plan has to be very specific and granular. A general idea on what you need to do in order to accomplish your big goals can be helpful. For me, the big plan doesn't have to have every single detail laid out from the beginning all the way through to completing the goal, because most likely there'll be changes along the way, and that's why being able to adapt that plan can be very helpful. So the plan doesn't have to be as specific, in my opinion, as the next step. See, the specific steps that really help me are more in my daily tasks, the things that I'm doing each day. And having that specific step that's going to help keep me moving forward is what helps to keep me on track and making progress and eventually achieving my goals. Now, does this mean that I'm telling you to write down every single minute little fraction of an action that you are going to do throughout the day? Absolutely not. What I am saying, though, is if you find yourself getting distracted or sitting down to try to accomplish a task that you know you need to do, it might be on your list of things to do, and then you find yourself getting distracted and not focused and going in this direction and that direction, being busy and not actually doing what you set out to do, then getting really specific when you make the list of things that you need to do, or when you pick your next step, getting really specific in exactly what you'll do will reduce your thinking of, okay, how do I approach this? What's the best way to do it in the moment? That way, all you have to do is take the action and actually do it. So when I'm trying to get really specific on the steps that I need to take, I just make sure I include 3 things. What, exactly what I need to do. When, when I will start that, and even sometimes when I will finish that exact task. And how. How will I accomplish that task? Adding more details can remove any of the questions that I'll have when I actually attempt to do it, and that can help keep me moving forward. Because when I have to figure out like how to approach a task or some of the details in the moment when I'm trying to do it, the easier it is for me to get distracted and to not be productive and moving forward. The more specific I have the details of the task that I need to do, then the less likely I will be to get distracted by some of the questions, and all I'll be doing is doing the task, moving forward, taking action, making progress, and that's what I want for me and for you. Because action is what's going to take you towards your goals. No idea or plan or mindset even. And none of those will accomplish your goals. It's what you do that counts. So make taking action easier and make being productive easier by knowing the exact specific step you'll take next. Well, that's it for today's episode. I hope taking in detail in your next step and being really specific on it will help you to make the progress towards your goal that you want. And I do just want to say thank you. Thank you for sharing the podcast with other people. February, we had the most downloads for the Eat Your Elephant podcast so far. And that's just really encouraging to me. It helps me to stay focused on getting this podcast out and making it happen for you. Well, thanks for listening. Take care. I'll talk to you in the next episode.